If you want to continue to follow our adventure, click subscribe. So you don't miss anything, click the bell notification. This video is to get you to think about all scenarios out in this, living this lifestyle as a nomad, which is what I really try to do about my channel. The good, the bad, the ugly, it's right down in the description of every video and the description of my channel. And so I want you to really think about this particular situation. So yesterday we were sitting inside the camper. It was 4 o'clock. Well, it was almost 4 o'clock. And I'm getting ready to upload a video. And so what I do is I go outside, I start the generator, go inside the camper and start working. Well, the internet wasn't working really well, the Verizon internet. So I thought I would check out AT&T. We haven't had a lot of luck with AT&T. So I get out of the truck to go turn on the truck, because the truck is our AT&T provider through OnStar. That's not the point of the video, so I'm not going to get into it. But I have to turn on the key of the truck so I can get AT&T. Well, as I stepped out of the camper, now remember, we'd only been inside just a few minutes. You know, like I said, I walked over there, turned on the generator, came in the camper, sat down at the computer, opened up the browser and realized the internet was not working very well. So 2 or 3 minutes. Step out of the camper, and there's this gentleman sitting at our picnic table. He throws up a hand and waves, I said, hi. Now I know a lot of people are going to tell me exactly what I should have done, and I'm going to try to go through all the scenarios of what folks will tell me that I should have done. But you never know what the intentions of the person is. Well, anyway, I was busy, so I just figured maybe he wanted to sit down. I didn't know what he wanted. Got back in the camper, and I shut the door and locked it this time. We had it open because, these beautiful temperatures. I was trying to enjoy some Florida weather. And so I told Carolyn, don't go outside. Well, we had the windows open, and we could hear him mumbling to himself and different things. I really got the impression after listening to him mumbling for several minutes that he was probably not mentally well. So I was really grateful that I didn't go sit over there and talk to him or acknowledge him any further than hello. I was glad that I locked the door. Hindsight being 20/20, I felt like I did all the right things. I don't know, he sat there for a half hour or so, and then said, he stood up from the picnic table, yelled out a-holes, calling Carolyn and I a-holes, and walked off. Well, this really brings up a lot of, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? Now you got to think, are we continuously safe? As I've mentioned many times, our pop-up camper was burned down actually in this forest, not at this campground, but at this forest last year by a mentally ill person. At least that's what the rangers suspect. There's no evidence, but he's kind of a troublemaker. So now I know everybody's going to say, this is why I carry a 45. That's fine. I get it that you're going to carry a 45, but you weren't going to do anything to that fellow sitting at the picnic table at that moment. He wasn't doing anything wrong. Yeah, he was in our campsite, but are you really going to cause that much ruckus telling him to go away? You just don't know. I mean, last spring we met a fella who was obviously mentally ill, and beautiful Florida day like now, you don't see any bugs flying in my face or anything, and he's pacing up and down the campground swatting at flies. At least that's what he looks like he's doing. Well, he finally comes over and says that it's my fault that the flies are around because I'm running the generator. I want to be clear on this. I was not running the generator. It wasn't running. Hadn't been running for hours. But it was our fault that these flies, these imaginary flies were around. He was very upset with us. Well, we decided to leave camp. I mean, he was camping there. But it took us nearly a half hour, 45 minutes to leave. We still had the shower tent back then. So anyway, I've asked around the campground, and nobody knows who he is. One person actually saw him sitting there, didn't know what he was doing. And of course, that person didn't see any interest in talking to the fella, seeing what he wanted. So now we have to worry, is he going to come back? What are we going to do if he comes back? What if he comes in the middle of the night? And so I'm going to try to explain counter arguments about different scenarios and what people think we should do about different things, and security and weather, you know, temperatures, different things. I will, for example, make a video and say that when we were in South Dakota, it got up near 90 degrees, and you know, we put out a tarp and used some sticks to hold it up. And then everybody said, hey, you need a canopy, and you can buy these canopies for such and such dollars, and it only takes you a few minutes to set up, to break down. I've made videos where I tell you that I lock up my generator to my tire, and that I'm afraid to put it away each night because, you know, I'm worried that the exhaust on it will be hot, and I don't want to put it away and cause a... So here's two different scenarios. If I don't put my generator away, it's causing me a safety risk. This is what people have said, that I need to be able to find a way to put my generator away each night. That way, if I need to leave in the middle of the night, we don't have to do anything. We can just start the truck and go, which would be excellent. I would really like to do that. But on the other hand, if it's too hot, we have to have this canopy, which would take several more minutes to put away. So what is the scenario here? Do you put the generator away each night because you're over worried about your safety? Or do you put out a canopy because you're too hot and you want to stay under the shade? Of course, you know, we have our lawn chairs sitting out. We have, you know, a couple dishes sitting out. Right now, the cast iron casserole dish is sitting out on the table. Generator's locked up to the wheel, of course. So are we out here enjoying the environment for 2 weeks at a time? Or are we constantly worried about our security? You know, you got to weigh all this out. Your security versus your comfort versus your ability to get away versus your ability to enjoy the environment. A lot of things to think about. So, thanks for watching. Click like if you like the video, and happy travels.